Wi-Fi analyzers are tools that can identify wireless networks on the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz frequencies. These tools can show things such as the channels being used by your current access points and also neighboring wireless networks, the signal strength of access points, usually measured in dBm, any overlapping that might be occurring between neighboring networks and yours, and also the best channels to use for your new access points. They come in two types. You have the handheld all-in-one devices with built-in Wi-Fi antenna, a touchscreen, and incorporated analysis programs like the one that we see here. This is just one example. And these are much more expensive. And then there are the various apps. You have them for Windows, for Android, and for iOS. Whatever device you run the app on has to have a properly set up wireless network adapter. So let's take a look at a basic Wi-Fi app running on a smartphone now. Okay, and what we have here, this is displaying the 2.4 gigahertz frequency range and the Wi-Fi networks in the general vicinity. As you can see, the lower channels, 1 through 5, are being used much more than the upper channels. This type of data should play into your decision-making process when you're setting up a new Wi-Fi network or when you're selecting an access point to connect a client to if there's more than one. So here you can see this information, and it's changing slightly as time goes by, but we have a lot of networks on the channels 1 through 5 and only 2 between 6 and 11. Now that's the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. We can also select the 5 gigahertz frequency range to see what's running there. And you can see that there's really nothing. There's only one in the lower frequency range for that. So that should play into your decision-making process for this. But 2.4 is a lot more crowded. It has a smaller channel width for each channel. So that's quite often what we're paying more attention to because there's a lot more of a chance for overlap. So on the bottom, you see the channel numbers. And in the United States, we use 1 through 11 for 2.4 gigahertz. And on the left, you see the dBm rating. The lower the number, the better the connectivity. And we have other options here. We can see these in different graphical formats. We can take a look at what this app thinks are the best channels to use. And it's saying right now 10 and 11 and 5, 6, and 7 are the best to use. And then you can look at the actual dBm rating for each of these networks and see the frequency they are using, which corresponds to the channel, and what type of encryption they're using as well, and the MAC address of that device, which is pretty cool. And it also gives you estimated distances to these access points, but that's usually going to be, that's not going to be very accurate with most of these apps. And that'll also depend on what device you're running this on. So that's an example of a Wi-Fi analyzer. Definitely something that you want to take a look at. And you want to kind of stay away from other wireless networks that are nearby channel-wise, but also look for the ones that have the strongest signal. Those are the ones you're going to want to stay away from as well. And again, that's for the 2.4 and for 5 gigahertz as well, because the 5 gigahertz, we use that all the time with 802.11 AC and other technologies. All right, so a little bit about Wi-Fi analyzers, and that's it for this video.